Hey guys, welcome back to Billy Ray Garage. Today's video, we are changing the bushings on our control arms along with the ball joints. So that is this hoe right here, this hoe right here, and this biatch right there. And I'm going to be changing out to polyurethane bushings. These things are light, they're nice, they're strong, apparently. I bought new ones. They're already on the car, but I figured have backups. So we're going to get this all taken apart. And I'm gonna paint them up all nicey nice, make them look brandy new. Now, if you've ever had a ball joint go bad, you hear the clunk, I suggest changing them out. I've had a ball joint break driving, not on this car, it was a 95 Ford Thunderbird, my first car. Driving around, heard the clunk, didn't think anything of it, and then I was driving, luckily I was only doing 25 miles an hour, and the side of my car just went goof, and that was it. And my tire locked up because the wheel was up in the fender well, and it wasn't spinning no more. If you hear the clunk, definitely at least change this. And these rubber ones, they just go. These things are 21 years old, time to upgrade them. So let's get into this. These are the directions right here, so if you want to do this yourself and you think you can do it, pause the video or take a screenshot so you know what you're doing when you go to do this job. But we don't need directions, so fuck off. Alright guys, on the control arm itself, we obviously want to get the bushing in here. Now I think this is just like the rear control arms. This little metal ring here had to come out, so you gotta like knock the rubber out and then somehow cut this. I think I'm just gonna stick a saw in there and cut up and cut down on it and just chisel the hell out of it until it comes out. But that needs to go, this little metal ring, and obviously it would help if you got rid of this. So I'm just going to take a drill and drill through here a bunch of times until I can knock this bushing out. So stand by while I get that set up and ready to go. Alright guys, got my drill, got a very large bit, and I'm going to try and drill multiple holes around here to get the rubber out. And then I'm going to take a skill saw or a jigsaw, whatever you want to call it. You use a sawzall, whatever you want, to cut the metal out. But first, let's do this and try and get this rubber out. Alright, got a really big socket. I don't even know what size this is, 36 millimeter. I'm going to put it over here and I'm going to try and see if that'll push out the rubber on the inside, at least most of it. And then we'll move on to the metal ring. Hopefully it stays. And it appears we're getting somewhere here. You guys may be wondering, Billy Ray, you have a hydraulic press. Why are you doing this by hand? Well, trying to show people that if you do not have the proper tools to do this, you can still get it done. Trust me, I'm using that press for the next one. So, bear with me. Alright, we got it out. Alright guys, got most of the rubber bushing out of here. So now what I'm going to do is take a saw and just cut this little trim of metal. As I said, I got a skill saw right there. And I'm just going to try and lay it on it, and once I get through this side, should be through on the other side, I'll do the same thing up top, just so I can split it in two and then try and hammer it out with a chisel. So, wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, looks like up top I'm pretty good. The bottom may not be all the way through yet, but we're going to figure that out soon. It looks very close. So I'm going to take a chisel and hammer the shit out of it and hopefully it gets a breakthrough here, because that would be great. Okay guys, moving this operation to the ground because I don't have the proper stuff. So I'm going to hammer this down. Hopefully I don't gouge the inside. And yeah. So here we go. Let's actually hit it from here. Alright, it's starting to come out, so that's good. So stack something behind it. All right, now that's starting to come out. I'm just gonna keep pushing it. See if I can stand on it. I'm doing this like a dummy. Let's knock this guy down a little bit. Yeah, it's coming out. So we're just gonna keep tapping. There we go. So now we got that collar out. We are in business. All right, guys. Now we got the bushing and the collar out in the dumbest way possible. It's time to get that bushing out. Probably the dumbest way possible. Bear with me, we're gonna get that out. That would work nicely. If you got the right tools for the job, go get them. Go to AutoZone, pick these things up. Should be good to go there. Let me get a little cap for that. I'm gonna try not to drill this one out. I'm gonna try and use this little cup and plate and see if I can just twist it out. So that would be awesome. All right, that thing is literally starting to move, so we're just gonna run with this. Let's see if we can make this go. Okay, it seems to want to go by hand. There we go, we're going places now. Close that out, that'll drop down. Okay, I think we got it enough. Yep, we got it. That's out. Stupid bushings removed. And we are going places. Alright guys, this is my really dumb way of removing a ball joint. So, I'm gonna use an impact gun, gonna run it down, and hopefully we knock this thing out. We got it. Or we broke it, one or the other. Nope, we got a ball joint. Cool. So, got that bad boy out. Here's our control arm, all cleared out. So, I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up and ready for paint, and we're gonna paint it up and make it all nicey nice. Okay, got these things cleaned off. Use a little Dawn dish soap, scrubbed them down, knocked off all the dirt and rust and all that fun stuff. Here's the other one. And I just covered up the holes where the bushings and the ball joint go. And then I sprayed it down with denatured alcohol. So I'm going to let this dry off a little bit more. And then I am going to do a coat or two of primer. And then I got some chassis paint that I'm going to paint it. So stand by while I paint this up. Okay guys, got a second coat of primer on these things. So I'm going to let it dry up a little bit and hit it with some chassis paint. And make it all nice and black. And then we'll start putting the bushings and ball joints on. It's my house, I can do whatever the hell I want.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Alright guys, control arm is out of the paint shop and we're ready to go. Now, one thing, I tried getting ball joints for this, but they're $250 a piece. So I am not going for that since this is going to be a backup. If I desperately need it, I will get it. I'm not going to pay 250 bucks for one ball joint when I could be buying other things. So we're just going to do the bushings. The red bushings, they're from Energy Suspension. I got the whole giant kit with all the bushings, except it did not come with the front control arm bushings for the radius rod. Went on Amazon, got that. That is the company. They were not very expensive at all. I think they were like 30, 40 bucks. Another thing to keep in mind, if you're a baller on a budget, this is the cheapest way to do it. I wouldn't touch the ball joint if your ball joint's good. If it's bad, obviously change it. But if you're not a baller on a budget, and instead of doing all this work, you could go on Maverick Man Carbon and get a whole white line control arm with ball joint bushings and all that fun stuff for like $325 for both of them. But anyway, since it's a backup set, just putting these bushings in and then we'll wrap up the video. So pretty straightforward. The back of the control arm is this nub. So that's how you can tell it's at the back of the car. And you're going to take the big bushing, put it up front, big bushing, put it up front, and the two smaller ones, this one's got a washer. So when you put this on, there's like a giant washer nut that holds the radius rod in. And then for the front, there's a washer that goes onto here. The radius rod goes through. So make sure you do it this way. So let me lube these things up and get them put in, and then we'll wrap up the video. All right, guys, obviously gonna grease these things up first so they don't make all the squeaky noises after they're in. So just do a little dab, boop, wrap you around here, spread it nice and evenly. Spread some inside of here, and we will do a little push. Shouldn't need any tools for this. Nope, goes right in, perfect. And then obviously lube this side up a little bit. I'm not gonna go crazy on this side since there's not a lot there. And then, boop, that's in. And then we're gonna put a little grease on the inside for the sleeve that goes in there. We'll lube this guy up, and we'll push it in from this side. Beautiful. So that's in. Now if you look at the sleeve, it goes to here, goes flush right against there. And here, it's basically the width of this part of the bushing. The nut washer slash whatever that goes to the radius rod, that actually sticks in there a little bit. So it'll actually fill in that gap and be a washer and be a bolt. If it seems short, it is, but that's okay. Let's go into the backside. Backside, same thing, put some grease in here. Make that all nice and smooth. Let's give it a nice little coating. Grease this big boy up. And same thing, the back side of the car, this sleeve's gonna go in. So let's give it a little push. Ugh. May need a little encouragement. Let's see. There we go, cool. Break my kitchen table. There we go, cool. All right, got about all 200 pounds of me into this thing. So now that's in. We'll grease up around here. Slide this little guy on, and then we'll put our little sleeve in. And as you can tell, there's kind of a rounded side there and a flat side here. You want the rounded side facing up. So then here we go, boop, and we're done. Grease up your sleeve, shove it in, call it a day. Put 200-pound press on here. Ugh, look at that, look at that. Ugh. All right, I'm gonna bring this out in the garage and hit it with a rubber mallet. That should do it. I'll get back to you in a second on that. All right, guys, put it on the ground. A couple taps of the rubber mallet went all the way in. So that's gonna complete our control arm for now. We're gonna go knock out the other one. We'll have both of them done, except for the ball joint, obviously. And I'll catch up with you to close out this video. All right, the control arms are done, minus the ball joints. I'll probably tackle them another time. I'm gonna see if I can find cheaper ones because I'm not paying $500 for those bitches. So, nice easy job. If you're doing your radius rod, you might as well do these because you have to take this out in order to do the radius rod. Just some food for thought, or go to the white line kit for, you know, $315, whatever it is. All right, let's wrap this video up. All right, guys, that does it for this video. The GTO project is coming to an end for this year, or at least for the most part this year. Next week's video is going to be a fun one. I'm going to show you basically everything that this car can do, and it is fun. I've played with it a little bit, but next week I'm going to push it. I'm going to use all my editing skills and camera skills, which I wouldn't call them skills, but I'm going to put a lot of effort into that video, so hopefully you enjoy that. And I hope you found this video helpful because it's something you should do. All these cars are between 19 and 21 years old. The rubber gives out on them, gets a little squishy in the front end, and you know, all that fun stuff. After this video, I am going to start working on the Jeep. So if you want to see a frame off restoration and what Port 15 could do, hit that subscribe button. It's going to be a daunting task, but I intend to fly through that and do the best I can at trying to save my Jeep, which is 25 years old at this point, and a rust bucket. I'm actually going out to make a video on that now. Neighbors are going to hate that. It's got a hole in the exhaust. Thanks for watching, guys. I got my new horsepower door. all the GTO stuff on the door. This door has probably 250 horsepower right now. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. And I will see you guys in the next one.